developed countries, Nigeria features as one of the major countries and the major producer of shea. And in the context of this, we are working to transform the shea sector in Nigeria to become the leader, as it should be, in the export of shea to the markets which are waiting for them internationally. So in this case, we are increasing the women's participation. Women are already the major producers of shea. They gather the shea nuts from under the trees. It's not a harvested product. It is a wild product. It's harvested from under the trees in a very laborious process. And the women are probably the most disadvantaged and the less visible in this whole supply chain and value chain. And it's our role as an organisation to ensure that they benefit significantly from the work we do and justifiably for them and their families receive a great deal more recognition financially for their part in this supply chain.
So what is the focus for the exports?
The focus is really, we've taken shea and many of the people from Africa will know shea very well as a product which is well known in terms of its use for health, for beauty, and for food as a cooking product. But in the context of the work we're doing, 85% of shea exports currently go into the confectionery industry as a replacement for cocoa butter. But the value addition, which we're really working with, is the 15%, which we're trying to increase in terms of its use in the cosmetic sector for health and beauty, which of course aligns very closely with the work you're doing with the London Fashion Week for Africa, and in particular, as a product which is in great demand for organisations such as the Body Shop already use it in their compositions for creams. But in the case of the work we're doing, we're helping SMEs in Nigeria export directly to waiting customers in international markets of the cosmetic creams and products, and we're upskilling them with the whole supply chain and value chain in order to make those products saleable in the markets of demand, which is again, because it's a Dutch program, is heavily focused on the demand that's coming from the EU.
Okay, so can you explain how MSMEs will benefit from Shea Nigeria national brand?
Well, as you just mentioned now, we've been very successful in the last month, actually, after some working with a local team in Nigeria. And I must stress that because it's a local program with local support, and importantly, we are facilitating the program. And we put out a competition, if you like, as a bid to brand the shea sector in Nigeria, to give it the recognition it deserves. And 3 foreign companies bid for that work, and another company, which happened to be Nigeria, actually won the bid, which was really terrific for the Nigerians. And we ended up with Shea Nigeria as the brand, and we have all the brand imaging now completed and the brand manual, which will represent shea for Nigeria at every national event. We will have it on all of the products as a certification as well. So companies that export will be able to, through the certification quality process, use the brand and also trade fairs, etc., under one umbrella. And that's important coming from a fairly fragmented shea sector before we started this work a year ago.
Thank you for that, and that's great work. So what institutional support is available to the MSMEs in the sector now?
Well, as people from Nigeria will appreciate, north-south, the country is quite different and diverse in terms of both culture and access, and obviously with Abuja being in the centre of government and Lagos the centre of commerce, we've tried very hard to bring them together. And under the associations that were already there, which is the Women in Shea Association, the Shea Empowerment Foundation, the National Shea Association, and importantly, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council in Abuja. We brought all of those 4 significant organisations together under one umbrella, which we've now had registered as Shea Nigeria Business Cluster, and formalised that only this week as a formal which will represent the interests of everybody in the Shia sector and also represented with using the brand. And importantly, that will include all of the financial institutions, the certification bodies, logistics, etc., which is the principle around cluster development.
Thank you, that's excellent work. And finally, what are the expected outcomes over the next 4 years of the programme?
Well, it's an ambitious programme because Nigeria has been dominated by surrounding countries in terms of Shia, and Ghana specifically. But our role, and it's named in the project documents, it's the transformation of the Shia sector in Nigeria, which is a very ambitious program to transform it from being hidden behind let's say, the Ghana situation, which is admirable, by the way, in terms of what the Ghanaians have done. But nevertheless, Nigeria needs to take its place, and in that transformation will be the increased exports of Shia cosmetic products or ingredients in cosmetics internationally, but also the actual cosmetics made in Nigeria. At the moment, Nigeria doesn't have sufficient gathering and processing of Shia nuts to be able to enter into the major supply chain in the confectionery market. Nevertheless, that is changing rapidly now as they install capacity to process it. But in terms of value addition, our initial focus is going to be very much on the cosmetics and health side of the Shia products.
Thank you very much, and thank you once again for your contribution to UK Africa Trade Expo. Peter Hurst, CEO of Added Asset, also the institutional expert for the Netherlands government for the Shia programme in Nigeria. Good day.
Thanks. Thank
Thank you very much for that. Lobola, if you'd like to come up very quickly, please.